Hey everyone! So today we're diving into the original viral sensation. We're talking about a sound that completely blew up and took over the world way before the internet was even a thing.
I mean, seriously, think about that for a second. There was no TikTok, no Spotify, no way to just instantly share a song. So, how on earth did a brand new sound and dance manage to take over an entire generation? The answer is pretty wild. The answer? It was called swing. And let me tell you, this wasn't just some music. It was a whole vibe, a massive cultural movement. We're talking cheerful, super exciting music with a beat that you literally could not stand still to. All right, so let's get into it. What exactly is swing music? And how did it kick off what was basically the biggest party of the 1930s and 40s?
Okay, so at its heart, swing is a type of jazz. But you gotta forget that image of slow, quiet jazz in some dark club. No. This was like jazz got a major power up. It was supercharged with the strong, bouncy rhythm that was made for one thing and one thing only: dancing.
And here's what made it so different. It was organized. See, before swing, a lot of jazz was super freeform, kinda all over the place with improvisation. But swing bands came in with actual written-out parts. That made the music feel powerful, super tight, and honestly, way easier for everybody to get into. This was the moment jazz went from being this kind of niche thing to being the pop music of the era. It went totally mainstream. So, what was the engine driving this whole sound? It was something called the big band. And listen, forget about your typical four-person band. This was more like a musical army. I'm not kidding. A typical big band had like 10 to 20 musicians all on stage playing at the same time. Can you imagine that? It created this massive wall of sound, and that's exactly where all that incredible energy came from. And all those musicians were broken down into four main sections, kind of like squads. You had the trumpets bringing the power, the trombones with that smooth sound, the super versatile saxophones, and then the most important part, the rhythm section, which was the glue holding the entire thing together. Okay, probably the easiest way to get this is to think of it like a pro gaming squad, for real. The rhythm section, that's your piano, bass, and drums. They're the tanks. They hold down the foundation with that steady beat so the team doesn't fall apart. Then you've got the brass and woodwinds. They're your DPS, the damage dealers, hitting you with those awesome melodies and mind-blowing solos. And who's in charge of all this? The band leader. That's your squad leader, calling all the shots and leading the whole crew. But what's cool is that even with all that organization, there was still space for individual players to show off. They had these freestyle moments called improvisation. Basically, they'd make up a solo on the spot. It meant that even if you heard the same song twice, it would never be exactly the same, which made every single performance unique and exciting. All right, so what was the secret sauce? What made this music so addictive? Well, it was all about two things: a very specific rhythm and the dances that came from it. The magic is literally in the name, the swing rhythm. It's this bouncy, kind of uneven beat. Instead of feeling like a straight-up march, it feels more like you're skipping. And that feeling, that's what gives the music its energy, the thing that makes it so irresistible. So let me break it down. A normal beat is super even, right? Like 1 and 2 and, kind of like marching. But swing rhythm is different. It's uneven. It's more like a 1 and 2 and, a long note, then a short one. You feel that? That little bounce, that little hiccup in the rhythm? That is what physically makes you want to move. It's just pure energy. And oh boy, did people move. This music kicked off a massive dance craze. You had the Lindy Hop, the Jitterbug, the Charleston. These weren't just simple dances. They were super high energy, totally athletic, with people doing crazy spins and lifts. The music and the dance were just a perfect team, and together they completely went viral. Now you know that every viral trend has its influencers, right? Well, back in the swing era, the band leaders were the megastars. They were basically the biggest celebrities in the world. First, you gotta know about Benny Goodman. People called him the King of Swing, and he totally earned that title. His band was known for being technically perfect and just having this explosive energy. He's a huge reason swing music blew up across the whole country. Then you have the absolute genius Duke Ellington. This guy wasn't just leading a band, he was a true artist. He composed this incredibly cool, sophisticated music that's still amazing today. He really elevated the whole game. And you absolutely cannot talk about swing without mentioning Count Basie. His band was legendary. Why? Because they had the smoothest, tightest, most powerful rhythm section, period. His music was just cool. It had this perfect groove that just felt amazing to listen to. Okay, so we've got the music, we've got the bands, we've got the superstars, but how did this thing actually go viral? How did it spread from city to city and then all over the world?
Well, it happened in a few key steps. First, it completely took over the live dance halls. Then, radio got a hold of it. And you have to understand, radio was like the Spotify of the 1930s. It beamed the music directly into everyone's living rooms. After that came records, so you could own the music. And the final step? Hollywood. Movies started featuring swing music and dancing, and that's when it became a true global phenomenon, like the ultimate TikTok trend of its time.
And this really shows you how huge it was, how much it meant to people. Swing became more than just fun music. During World War II, it was actually sent over to the soldiers to boost their spirits and give them a taste of home. It became the sound of America, a symbol of hope and positive energy during a really difficult time in history. So, if there's one thing to take away, it's this. Swing music wasn't just another style. It was the energetic, viral soundtrack that literally brought an entire generation together through rhythm and dance. It was, without a doubt, the sound of an entire era. So that leaves us with one final question for you. Swing defined their generation. What single sound do you think is going to define yours? Think about it. Thanks so much for tuning in.